What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is the day where we're finally revealing the new wheel and tire setup on Blackjack. Plus, we might have another secret mod that I didn't announce and I really didn't plan for, but decided to do it kind of last minute, and I think you guys are gonna be pretty surprised. But before we do that, I have three major things that we need to talk about real quick. First being Dream Diesel giveaway number 8 is gonna launch in just 2 days if you're watching this on January 14th. If you're catching it after that, Dream Diesel giveaway number 8 goes live January 16th. Number 2 on the list is on that same day, we're actually debuting another vehicle that I've been hiding from you guys for about 2 weeks time. I'm sorry, I kind of had to because we got so many other things going on right now. And number 3 is I think I finally whittled down the names for the 5.9 single cab. A lot of you guys came up with amazing suggestions, and in total, we had over 4,000 of them. Yes, 4,000 comment and name suggestions from all of you. Man, that is incredible, guys. And the reason that it took so long for me to decide on this top 3 list is because there were just so many great names that I had to choose from, and it was really hard to kind of whittle down the list. So I'm gonna throw a poll right up here in the top corner of the vlog. Click on that, vote for your favorite name, and whichever one wins is gonna be the name for the new 5.9. Real quick, a lot of you guys came up with very R-rated names that were absolutely hilarious, and there was this common theme of one specific topic that's related to, let's just say, like a white substance. I'm gonna leave it there. And I thought a lot of them were hilarious, but I try to keep my content PG or PG-13 at most because I know that I have some young eyes out in the audience. I think you'll find that common theme in that poll. So go ahead and go check it out. Again, a lot of them were absolutely hilarious, but I gotta make sure that we're kind of friendly for all viewers, if you catch my drift. All right, ladies and gentlemen, off to the shop to go get Blackjack for this big reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Blackjack.
3 a.m., late night chilling. I've been closed off, cause I like winning. Lot is going on, with a nice feeling. I keep going up, I don't like ceilings. Everybody love to talk, till I'm round and the yard gets soft. Yeah. Lately I've been screaming more. Big bugging, think I trust you, no. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at Blackjack. He is finally together after a long-awaited 3 months to get those wheels right there. And guys, before I even go into the reveal of the setup and exactly what it is that made up this absolutely black beauty, what do you think? It looks pretty good. I know I'm a little bit biased, but guys, come on now. This is on a new level, completely new level, unlike anything that I've ever done before. And I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I'm curious if it can tow. We'll figure that out in another video. But holy crap, it's colossal. This is the Blackjack that I've had in mind all along, and it started as something that wasn't really all that special, but it evolved to this. Just soak it all in. It's perfect in every single way. The McGoy's lift, the specialty forged wheels, the Recon taillights, the Morimoto headlights, the paint matching, all of the black little accents here and there, the big old 38-inch tires, and last but not least, the amp research steps. All right, I just kind of covered everything, but we got to start right from the top, and that's the wheels. It's been nearly 3 months since we've debuted Blackjack on the channel, and it's been over 3 months since I've had these wheels on order. I actually ordered the set of wheels for this truck because I had it in mind and exactly what I wanted to build before I even owned the truck. I was ultimately just hunting for one that was in extremely good condition, hence this one right here, but I knew I wanted to get a Dodge, I knew I wanted it to be a 4th gen, and I knew I wanted it to be a G56, and I knew I wanted it to have black wheels. So I actually ordered the wheels a little bit in advance because Specialty Forge takes a decent amount of time to make the wheels. I don't know the intricacies of their process, I don't know how their whole business works, but I do know that they ask of you 8 to 12 weeks minimum to receive some wheels. And well, I waited kind of towards the latter. But that's okay because look at them, they look incredible. So they finally arrived and I am stoked. We did this entire build without wheels, which is kind of the opposite of how I like to do it because honestly, I like to drive around in something that looks a little bit different, but I was driving around in something that looked almost funny. So these ones right here are Specialty Forge SF036s. Super simple design and can throw it on any 4 corners of the truck to rotate them without any direction. Now, Specialty Forge does offer a lot of directional wheels that can only go on one way. I decided to opt against that rather than for that because I wanted to be able to rotate these big old rubbers without running into any rotational or directional issues. Now, yes, guys, I said it, 24 by 12, not 24 by 14, which I think a lot of you are gonna be a little bit surprised by, and I know. I was a little out of my comfort zone with going with this size wheel because I swore the 14 wide was necessary on a lift kit of this size, but boy, you know what? Sometimes you surprise yourself when you go a little bit out of your comfort comfort zone because it turned out incredible. My thought process here was if we went with a 12 wide wheel and a 15.5 wide tire, we'd almost kind of meet in the middle at 13 inches roughly. There's probably about an inch of sidewall width that we have to account for on either side of the tire that makes up this extremely aggressive stance. And the other big factor that I thought about was the fact that I wanted this to be a driver's truck. A 14 wide would have been sick, no doubt, but with a 38-inch tire, there's no chance that we would have been able to turn, or at least turn as much as we need to with a truck of this size. But this is completely different because we have the ability to utilize our turn radius, which is obviously extremely important. Functionality and form are best when they work in conjunction, not one or the other. But I was very concerned that there wasn't going to be enough poke to give it kind of a bulldog look, but I don't think we have any issues here because it turned out amazing. Now, I don't know if you guys can recall my projections, but I said that this truck was gonna be about 5 inches taller once we added those 38s versus those 285s that were on it. You remember those XDs? Well, yeah, it's about that. The truck actually came up to about here before, and now it's above my shoulder. I'd say it'd be kind of about at my jawline, and that's exactly where it is. Video does not do any justice for just how big and colossal this thing is, or the presence that it has on the road. I'll tell you what, it's always been a dream of mine to own a completely blacked out truck like this, and I love it. It is kind of hard to keep clean, I'm not gonna lie, but luckily Mirror Image Detailing took care of us and they got this paint looking incredible, so that way it's a little bit easier to clean, which is a great thing. The only trimming that we had to do was right here on the valance. This valance used to kind of come down and go over, but I decided to take it down and across. Not only does it give us the turning clearance that we need, but it also gives the front valance kind of a nice way of rounding out rather than just going straight down on either side. And I'd have to say, this is probably my favorite angle of the truck, just because you can see the depths of the black and how the stance complements it so well. But then again, I don't know, this angle's pretty good too, because here you can see the traction bars from that McGoy's lift kit, as well as that awesome beefy 4-link up front that makes this whole thing come together. I don't know, that side or this side, that side or this side, I'm not sure. Now, I did kind of cheat you guys a little bit on one modification. I didn't actually have the amp research steps in mind when I did this build, but I knew that the stock chrome tubular steps couldn't last, so I took them off and then I attempted to get up into the truck, and it wasn't all that beautiful. I'm 5'10", and it was a job. Like, you literally have to grab the ship handle and you have to kind of pull yourself up into it. If you don't have much upper body strength or you don't hit the gym, then you might not ever be able to actually drive the truck. And I can see it kind of getting tiring, especially, you know, if you have a coffee or like whatever the case is. So I decided to pull the trigger on some amp research steps as kind of a last minute addition to keep the cleanliness of the side profile without those steps kind of just sitting there, but to have that ooh-ah effect of opening the door and having the amps pop out. And they are absolutely awesome. Plus, what's cool about these amps on the Dodges is when you close the door, they really tuck up nicely. Almost to the point that you can't even see them under the rocker. Now, it was an interesting installation. At this point in time, I can say I've successfully installed 3 sets of amp research steps. Super Duty Sam, my 2020 Denali, and now this Dodge behind us, AKA Blackjack. The GMs and the Fords, super simple, they bolt right in. The Dodges, not so much. It's a little bit more of an intricate process. Firstly, there's some drilling required as you need to add some reinforcement bolts to the outside of the rocker panel, and you actually have to do some additional drilling for the mounting brackets up underneath. Look at this, guys. That's how far I am. I mean, this thing is massive. Then when it comes to powering the amp steps, you do have your whole wiring harness, you have your module that controls it and everything like that. You have to remove the fuse box and you have to disconnect one of the main wiring harnesses that go to the fuse box, and you have to actually add 4 wire taps that control what would be the factory power steps off this truck. Whereas on the Fords and the GMs, you actually have the ability to just wire that all right into your OBD2 port, and then it's done. This one was a little bit more intricate. So I would say this took me about 4.5 hours, whereas like the Denali or the Ford only took me about 2 hours because they literally bolt right up and plug right in. So I wanted to share that with you guys real quick, just to give you a little bit of insight there. Now, I disabled the steps for the time being just to show you guys how colossal this thing actually is. If you're standing next to it, the truck sits at about hip level, which is insane. So the process to get up in here was to literally grab this handle, step here, and kind of use the kick panel as a leverage point to then step up into the truck. Now, I can see it being kind of cool, like, yeah, man, jump up in my big truck, or like trying to help your mom up inside, or whatever the case might be. You know, it's cute, it's a gentleman thing to do, but I felt like it was even better to just offer the step. Plus, jumping down, you literally have to slide, and I can see that ruining the bolster of the seat extremely quickly. which I don't want to do. I like to keep these things nice, tight, and firm. But the steps came out looking absolutely incredible. I love how they tuck up in there, so nice and neat. Plus on this truck right here, you'd almost never even be able to tell that they exist because it's completely blacked out. Now, a lot of you guys were asking me to black out the door handles and black out the Cummins turbo diesel badge, but the reason that I decided to leave them is because I wanted to complement the milled accents on the wheels. It's just touches of chrome here and there, touches of silver, let's say, to be more specific, that kind of give this thing nice proportion and depth, so you can kind of make out the different lines on the truck. Just to change it up and be a little bit different. Plus we have these awesome rivets in this royalty core grille that kind of give it more of that like industrialized, menacing, and sinister look. Now let's take this thing out for a cruise. I feel like I'm on top of the world, boys. This thing is awesome. Plus being able to row through the gears just makes you feel that much more in control of everything that you've got going on from this position right here. Plus with those sounds coming out the rear, boys, you feel like you are in an 18-wheeler. Talk about total ownership of the road, man. I don't know. I mean, I've been driving diesel trucks for a long time and I've had a lot of them, but nothing gives the experience like this does, just because of its pure size. All right, guys, and we are back at the shop. I'm just trying to get everything all nice and organized here, spending some time trying to figure out how I can rearrange some things. If you're wondering about those tires, I come across an opportunity. I picked them up for another project, but I don't think I'm actually gonna end up using those. But I'm like a wheel warehouse in here. I've got wheels literally everywhere. It's absolutely outrageous. We are up to, I mean, let's just call wheels and tires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the 2020, 11 for a new project coming up, 12 for a new project coming up. Yeah, this is getting a little out of control. I don't need the intervention though. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. So I think I'm gonna order some racking systems in here so I can get some stuff up off the ground. I'm thinking like 70-inch racks that are gonna go about this tall, 70-inch wide, so I can go from about there to there for one rack and then there for another rack, just to get some of this stuff up off the ground. And then I think a trip over to Harbor Freight is necessary too, because I'd like to introduce a larger workbench area so I can ditch the plastic tables. They worked for a while, but as you can see, they've gotten completely beat up, and I can't even tell you how many times I'm almost caved these things in because I've exceeded their weight capacity. So I'm trying to kind of figure all of that stuff out. Plus I'm trying to find a better heating solution. Right now I've got this propane canister with this kind of tubular heating unit. It's 40,000 BTUs. It does a great job, but it kind of leaves a little bit of an odor. So I'm looking for something a little better. So if you guys have any suggestions, please drop a comment below and let me know. Definitely open for your advice. Excuse me, I'm getting a call. Hey babe, how are you? Now that was a little bit of a squirrel moment. We have something else that we need to do real quick. Do you guys see an issue between that wheel, that wheel, that wheel, and that wheel? Yeah. All the center caps are facing different directions, and I need to, just for right now, my OCD is absolutely killing me, get those all facing the same direction. It needs to happen. Dang, look at that thing, boy. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. Better? Now we need a little bit more angle. Better now? Oh yeah, we're in business. All right guys, so I'm sorry that I didn't include you in the installation of the amp research steps or the actual installation of the wheels. I wanted to, but I was literally so excited once they arrived that I kind of couldn't contain myself, and I kind of had to just knock it out. So I hope you forgive me. But I've got some work to do here at the shop. I got to kind of take care of some things, chart my game plan, and figure out how I can make this little space accommodate to my needs a little bit more, because it seems like as time progresses, I'm quickly outgrowing this one bay shop that I have. Although I'm super grateful for it, I love it, and it's so helpful. It's almost like our needs are growing. So rather than finding another shop and moving, I'm just gonna try and put stuff up and get it off the ground so that way I can kind of get my floor space back. So that's where I'm gonna end this video. Look out for January 16th, guys. Big old Dream Diesel giveaway number 8 is gonna kick off 2020, and I can't wait to see what you guys think. Also, just a small little sneak peek, flannels might be making a return. Yes, all of you guys have been asking and begging for them to make a return, and well, that might just be happening this time around. So my likely to love you guys, do what you do best. Let's get to 200,000 subscribers. We're like 6,000 away. We are not far at all. Tap that subscribe button, share these videos, turn notifications on if you haven't already. Let's make 2020 a hell of a year. I'll see y'all in the next upload.